Welcome back to Young Tutor. Today we'll be taking up the topic of cube roots. Last video we learned about cubes and we learned about cubes and what are cubes, and we've learned to tell the last digit of a cube by determining and seeing the last digit of its cube root. But what is a cube root? A cube root is nothing but a number that can be taken a cube root of to get another whole number. So, for example, first let me show you how to denote a cube root, or how to tell that I'm trying to take a cube root of this number. So we've seen the square root symbol looks like this, but by just adding a 3 over here, this means that we are taking a cube root of the number. By adding any number over here, you're nothing but taking that x. Let's take, if you put x over here, you're just taking the root you get is nothing but that number to the power of x. Okay, so for square roots we don't usually add a 2. We just leave it as plain because we work with squares so often that we don't require to add the 2. To understand cube roots, you must by heart the actual first 10 cubes, first 10 to 20 cubes, because they're very important, and they go all the way up till 8,000. So they're very important, and when you by heart these cubes, you can easily tell the cube root of those numbers. So let's take the example of the cube root of 729. So the cube root of 729, we had given this as a homework in the last video, where you had to find the last digit of 729. We can tell that by taking the cube root of 729, all we are trying to do is prime factorizing this number 729, and with the prime factorize, we have to prime factorize any number that we're trying to take a cube root of, and when we take a cube root of that number, we'll get a certain stretch of digits. Okay, so now let's now that we've taken 729, we have to take the prime factorization of 729. This is the easiest and the quickest way to find the cube root of a number, if you know that number is guaranteed a cube of another number. So the prime factorization of 729 will be 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So you have to write like this for in this case, as it's a cube number, and not just that, it is also a square number 729. So we have only 3's in this list, but the more you change the number, the more you will get different varieties of numbers that get added on with this number. So now let's see what is the actual exact cube root and what is the easiest method to find these. So we have to group from the. So a perfect cube number will always have groups of 3 divided as it's a cube, and we can just go on marking these groups of 3. If you don't get a group of 3 for any number, and you should remember that the group of 3 must have only that number in it. So for example, in this case there is 3's. If there's a 2 into 2 into 3, then you cannot group the 2's and the 3 separately, together. You must group every single number separately. So in this case, we can group 3 times and the other set of 3 thrice. Then from each of the groups, you must take exactly only one number and discard the other 2. That is, you can take 1 3 from here, multiplied by 3 over here, and we get a 9, which is the exact cube root of that number. So this is how to take a cube root of a certain number. But in this case, we should make sure that number indeed is a cube number and will have a perfect cube. Okay, so now let's see one of the most important parts of how to identify a cube number and differentiate it from a square number. So this is just one way out of thousands of different rules given which can exactly prove which number is a cube number and which isn't. But this one rule is very helpful, is also a very helpful rule by stating that if a cube number has an even number of zeros, for example, let's take the number 100, we know that this number is a square number. But if we can, when we cannot tell if a number is a square number or not, for example, a very long number and then that ends with two zeros, we can easily tell that that number is not a cube number. And this is a very easy method to identify, as even if the number has 4 zeros or 6 zeros or however many zeros, as long as the number of zeros is even, the number is not a cube number. If the number of zeros is even, there is a chance that that number is a square number and not a cube number. So how can we tell that a certain number is an actual cube number? For example, let's take the number 1000. This number is a cube number and we know that. But an easy way to tell that this number is a cube number is by checking the number of zeros it has. If the number of zeros it has is divisible by 3, it is most likely a cube number. Okay, so now that I've told you one of the rules, let's see another very simple method that we can use to figure out what is the cube root of another number. For example, let's take the number 17,576. For any number that you are given to find the cube root of, you must take the first from the last digit, that is the ones place, keep going towards your left by underlining exactly 3 numbers, then leaving a space and then going on until you cannot do it anymore. In this case, we can do one set of 3, but then the second set lies short. It's okay, there's no issue with that. Next, for this number, for example 576 in this case, take the last digit and bring it down directly into your answer or solution. For the second number, we have to do a little bit of work. The easiest way to take it is 17 must lie between two whole square numbers. So in this case, 2 equal to 8, like this 2 square is equal 2 cube is equal to 8, and 3 cube is equal to 27, and we know that 17 lies between these two numbers cubes. So you should always remember to take the smaller number in this case, which is 2, and just directly put it in here. This is your solution. You can also check it if 26 cube is equal to 17,576. You check it by yourself. It is true. This is also is like a homework for you to figure out if this is true by cross checking and cross verifying. Okay, now time for the homework. For today's homework, first we'll go over with what we've learned and we'll go in order. So first we learned about prime factorization, the prime factorization method of finding cube roots. So the first homework I have for you is to find the cube root of the number 27000. That's 27,000. I want the exact cube root of this number using the method of prime factorization. I'll give you another homework for you to use to do using the prime factorization method itself. And this number is 46656. So you can go ahead and try this. This is also very simple. But now time for your second part of your homework that we did. That is nothing but the magical trick we used of estimation that we were able to calculate just 2 or 3 seconds ago for you. We use the example of 17,576, but as a homework, I will give you the number 12,167 and a simple number that is 49,000, sorry, for my bad, 4,913. So this is the only 4-digit homework that you have, but they're all pretty simple. Go ahead and try it on your own. Thank you for watching, and also please subscribe to the channel if you really like the math content on this channel. And if you have any doubt, just comment down below, and I will see if I will try to reply if I'm able to solve your doubt in these topics. I always try to cover most of the topics in this video. I've tried. Thank you for watching. This is Young Tutor. Bye.